The greatest injustice is done to my people is done by the way of infection. Killing us slowly, erasing our history, done by the way of deception. God, do you know?
God, do you know what you are? God, do you know what you are?
Goddess, do you know?
Goddess, do you know what you are? Goddess, do you know what you are?
God, do you know?
God, do you know what you are? God, do you
Peace and Black Power family. This is your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother I.J. Taimba. I'm filming live on location in that wonderful village of Harlem. Peace and blessings, family. Wukusu, Black Power, Hotep, Free the Land. Hope my people are good. I hope you're in good spirits. I hope that you're at peace yet preparing for war, because we are in fact being warred against, whether we acknowledge it or not. And our best course of action is to acknowledge it, to get out of denial, because denial is not a river in Africa. Denial is a curse when you are blatantly faced with realities you ignore because of being cowardly. And it's a curse. I hope we're preparing, family, and that's what we'll be talking about tonight briefly. I do want to first say, please, as you see the graphic to my left scrolling, please, when you have the opportunity, go to YouTube, subscribe to Black Liberation University on YouTube. It is the affiliate YouTube channel of Harlem Liberation School. One is a brick and mortar facility where we do our consciousness raising, and the other is the virtual online rendition. Secondly, I want to just quickly say thank you to the community. Thank you to Brother Carlton Jones, Brother Ron Green, and our esteemed elder, our Baba Walimu Bamani Baruti, for appearing on and being part of Black Power Friday this past Friday, in which what we attempted to do was hijack and undermine the white man's largest shopping day of the year. Now, we started small with just 4 of us in Philly, in New York, and in Atlanta. But I anticipate that it will grow and it will become a national, international sort of practice, and that we will create a culture that is proactive, that, as Baba Baruti mentioned, we don't have to wait for a set event to support our own people who are entrepreneurs and business people. And what made that event particularly unique is that we focused on people not just who had a business and products or goods for sale for the community, but people who are involved meaningfully in their community. Hence, Black Power Friday. So I want to thank everyone who was able to watch that live. It was a 2.5-hour mini telethon sort of event, and I want to encourage you. Go to Black Liberation University, or you can check here on my page and look at the broadcast now recorded of Black Power Friday. And you might find that there's some people's books you want to purchase. You might want to purchase some of the Black Power t-shirts or jackets, right? You might want to purchase Brother Carlton Jones' film, The Independence Day Project. Just because it's recorded and the event is in the past does not mean we cannot still look at it and still support. Get our credit cards out we use to get all the white man's goodies, and make a concerted effort to support those who support us and stick their necks out for us every day. With that, family, tonight we are talking about, are we preparing for the future? And what the goal of this particular broadcast is to make us aware, those who don't think about the future too much, because we're so caught up many times in the rat race of today. The white man done gave us so many problems, family, and distractions, that it's very easy to spend your whole day, every day, focusing on your bills, what you're going to eat today, what you're going to wear today, what's the weather today, what's the news today. It's, we get caught up in the present. Of course, we also have a significant population of our people who are similarly caught up in the past, right? Stuck in the past, unable to take the past and the best practices of the past and bring them to the present, so that we can solve our problems today. We can develop liberation blueprints today. But tonight we're talking about the future. My aim is not to give a lot of answers about what we should do, but just to get our minds focused to the future and to help you raise your own questions, because everyone watching this is intelligent enough after seeing some of these pictures and hearing some of what we're talking about to raise their own questions. How do I need to get ready? What is my skill set? What is my body of knowledge? And what do I need to tweak? Maybe I need to get out my comfort zone and start doing some research in these areas and become familiar. Maybe I need to start parenting differently. Teachers, African-centered teachers, or those of you who teach in the white man's school, but you're African-centered. You may want to think about what are some different ways, techniques, strategies I can use as a teacher to impart information, to teach our children to be critical thinkers and to measure intelligence not just by answering questions, by knowing the facts, but being able to take your mind to another place where no one's at, no one's even thinking about it, and raise questions, right? I keep telling this young generation, hey, facts, I just want the facts. Family, the future I'm going to get into a little bit, facts are going to take a back seat to imagination. It's one's ability to take a baseline of facts, gain meaning from them, and manipulate that information in a way to create innovations, things that we need that will solve some of our daily problems and futuristic problems. So it's not just about the facts. A lot of people know the facts and they have no context. They're stuck, they're married, they're obsessed with the facts, they're walking dictionaries. But guess what? Google makes you obsolete. Internet makes you obsolete. All the facts, any idiot could get. So that's obsolete. We need people who are sentient beings who can think about, okay, these are the facts. This is the condition. What types of things do we need to do? And so let's get into it, family. I want to show you some pictures and make quick commentary. What you're looking at is a model of a futuristic car that many of the experts are saying is no more than 15 years away at tops. And I don't know if you can see that clearly, but inside this car, it's seating almost like in a living room. Chairs facing each other, individual chairs seem to be comfortable, spaced out. People got room, they swivel. You'll see on the panels, the side of the car, that there are screens where people can watch news and TV and listen to music. The windshield can be converted to a special surface where people can play games and watch movies and videos. And there is no steering wheel, family. There are no brakes. This is a completely driverless car. These are what cars of the future will be like. Now, if you're paying attention, you know that some automobiles already have certain features. They're moving in that direction. If you've been paying attention, they have cars that can brake automatically with the driver at the wheel. They have cars that will emit a sound, computers in the side mirrors that will sense when there's an object coming up or you're getting ready to collide or when you're going out of your lane, and they will nudge you back in the lane or they will brake. They have cars that are parking themselves. You see, you start with baby steps, then you crawl, then you walk, then you climb and run. That's the way of technology. So what you're seeing now are the very beginnings. But in another 10 to 15 years, you'll have cars that drive themselves. All right, moving on. What you see here is an artistic representation of the smartphone of the future. This gentleman has a smartphone, but this smartphone is so much more. Already our smartphones are microcomputers, able to calculate things, give us access to the internet. We can do video chat, all these different things. And for many of us, these features become distractions, right? But if we start looking at the future, to see where this smartphone and computer technology is going, we're going to realize for the wise and those who want power and control over their lives, the smartphone and computers are tools, not toys. They're tools. And this smartphone is saying you'll be able to get 3D images and holograms, it'll be maps, and it'll be away from you. Like right in front of you, you'll see all these images, right? You're talking on a video chat, that person's image will be right in front of you. It won't be in your phone. The phone will be the base. All it maps, and you'll be able to move these things, manipulate them with your hands. Just like in the movie Minority Report, if you all remember that. Just showing you a few things, and we'll have a quick wrap up. The military of the future, the American Empire, will go the way of robotics and artificial intelligence. You know, why have all these human soldiers who, get injured, die, require salaries, require benefits, require uniforms, require transportation, all of which costs a lot of money, when you can have robots that are programmed to do certain things. Robots who, because of their being machines, have superhuman strength, superhuman speed, bulletproof, can fly, can shoot weapons out of their built-in armor, can use computers to assess the terrain, the temperature, protected from gas, protected from all these chemical things that would kill human soldiers, right? So that's something you can look forward to. They are working on this diligently, not anywhere near where they want it to be. In fact, one physicist said that robots right now are at a stage where they're less intelligent than the average cockroach. But they're quickly getting there, family, and this is what you're going to see from the military. Police forces as well will be less and less human and more robotic. Remember iRobot? What you're seeing here is a artificial heart that is soft and that pumps, made by a 3D printer, and it is an actual heart, a working one. All over, scientists and labs have started to really make great breakthroughs in the technology of 3D printing, and not just 3D printing where you think of it like the old school printer. Oh, you typed up your little book report for school and you printed it and gave it to the teacher. No, we're getting to three-dimensional where they can create objects that have depth and height and width that are three-dimensional and that are functional. No longer just giving this to your high school social studies teacher, family. We're talking about products that will allow people who desperately need new hearts and are on this list of 1 million people, and they're number 1 million, so they die waiting for a heart. This technology is projected to end such things. As a result, it's projected that people will have a longer average lifespan. It's somewhere in the future, in the next 50 years, right? And I should say that not only hearts, this is a tooth, a man-made tooth, printed through a 3D printer. This tooth actually has a special coating, a special substance that kills bacteria. So those of our people that struggle with that brushing of teeth and flossing regularly will have a whole nother alternative thing. This is where the future is going. So I want you to think about, while these people are thinking on this level, how are we thinking? What's dominating our thoughts? What are we working on? What are we being innovative about? What are we saying, well, this is how they did it then, and it worked for them, but it's not working now. Let's tweak it and let's try it a different way. You will see how this coincides perfectly with my constant teaching that rigid-minded people, overly dogmatic people, inflexible thinkers will be obsolete. We need people whose minds are flexible, can adapt to different types of information from different types of people, synthesize it, and then be able to create new theories, new products, new innovations to advance and protect our people. So it looks like you got a college classroom, right, and a teacher that's giving a lecture. Well, you're somewhat right, but actually it's a high school class, and that professor is a hologram. That is a hologram of a professor who's in a whole nother location, a whole different country actually, and that his lecture on in the class of Physics 101 is being taught simultaneously to different students in 5 different locations in the world at the same time. A hologram, education, teaching, public speaking, people who do workshops. It's going to, the new frontier of technology will change the way we do these things. Ideally, I'm a public speaker. I do workshops. In the future, I'll be able to sit right here or be broadcasting from Harlem Liberation School or some site with the right technology and camera, and I'll be able to appear as a hologram, or you will be able to appear as a hologram with 3D, 3D sort of 3 dimensions, not a flat screen projection, and be able to answer questions and everything. We are already tinkling with the technology. Now, this was done, but you can see evidence of it in teleconferencing. This is just taking it a step further, right? So those of you who teach, do workshops, appear in the public, just think about how much this can quadruple your productivity when your message can be heard at the same time all over the place, and yet you have the semblance of your physical presence there. Very interesting, right? This is a farm that they're working on already that will increasingly become the norm. We're getting into the realm of agriculture. I know many of my peoples and some of my brothers and sisters are deeply involved in agriculture for our people, growing our own food. So this is a major piece of the puzzle. However, future farms will be completely different from how we look at them today. They'll be regulated by computers and sensors. They'll be regulated by robotic technology. They'll be able to grow 50 times the food with less than the space that is needed now to grow that quantity of food, right? And so there'll be all types. The hunger problem projected by 2050 where we'll be in a deficit food in terms of a human to food ratio. They believe that this will help solve. So what this is saying certain things to us. You should be raising questions. You should be thinking, what are the implications of that for those of us who are farming, but we're doing the farming the way it's been done for centuries, and this is now going in another direction, right? Should be raising questions for you, right? Should be causing you to think. Vertical farms. What does this mean? This means that geography, for one of the first times in history, will not be relegated to the geographic farming will not be relegated to your geographic place where you are, where you're located in the world. That Antarctica will have farms. Africa, of course, will have farms. Northeast of the United States will have plenty of farms. All of that will be deaded. Climate, all that will not be as much of a factor the way it is today, because a lot of these farms will be vertical and will be in warehouses with special light and sensors and robotics. Something to think about, family. What you see here is a huge complex of solar panels. You might be asking, okay, how are we going to fuel and power all of these innovations? You're looking at the answer right there. This I want to give shout out to Baba Kaba Kameni, we had a conversation maybe a week or two ago, and he was really big on the solar energy and that we need to take advantage of that and explore that technology. That children should not just be learning how to do coding, but should learn the basics of how to power everything that things of the future will use. Elon Musk, who you know is the CEO of Tesla, the cars, sent a rocket into the moon to go to Mars. He's thinking about colonizing Mars. He projects that his company will be able to create a 100-mile by 100-mile compound of solar panels like the ones you see here. Huge to us, but if you were to look down upon the earth at 100 by 100 miles, tiny little space, a little piece of Texas, a little piece of New York State, a little piece of a state, a little city is the complex he's talking about. And with that 100 by 100-mile complex of solar panels, he's saying that they can power the entire country for 24 hours a day. Interesting. Energy is something we should be thinking about. What is the new? Why? Because people are increasingly concerned, environmentalists and regular people like you and me are concerned with the pollution being emitted by the primitive ways we use energy today, coal and stuff like that. So that's why you see more buildings to heat the buildings are going to natural gas and these other things. But if you think about it, what is the most powerful form of energy we have? What form of energy do you know of that never stops, has never stopped since you've been born and since everybody in your family history has been born and is still here? The sun, probably our most powerful energy source. In the future, more and more people will be finding ways to use solar power to power their automobiles, power 3D printers, power everything. Something to think about, family. Get our heads out of the past and the present and start thinking about preparing for the future. What you see here is what's called a smart refrigerator. Now, if any of us are, I'm assuming all of us are familiar with a refrigerator. We raid them every day, God knows. But imagine a refrigerator that, of course, will tell you the temperature and the time and the date, may greet you by your name, right? Because it has facial recognition. It'll greet your daughter by her name, your son by his name, and you by your name. But it also tells you you're running out of whatever product that you eat a lot of. Chicken breast, you're running out of broccoli, your turnips are getting low, where you'll be able to order the stuff that you need to replace that food right from your refrigerator. Stuff that would tell you will have a built-in digital cookbook. You'll be able to say, I like to make chicken marsala tonight for 5 people. And instantly it will come up on one of those panels. And by the way, that panel is really one panel. They're just showing you the different things that panel would show. And you'll be able to type that in and in an interactive fashion, almost like watching a YouTube video. It would take you step by step through making this meal. It would have your nutritional information. All of those things would be right in your refrigerator. Now, refrigerators have aspects of this. Certain washing machines have aspects of it. But we're taking it to the future. And I should add that in addition to refrigerators, family. Oh yeah, y'all know what that is. But it's not a regular toilet. That's a smart toilet. And that's a prototype that already exists in Japan right now. They're already thinking that way in Japan and other countries. The stuff we think about is the same old-ish. These people are thinking ahead to the future. Now, what's special about this quote-unquote smart toilet is that after you use it, it will be able to analyze your liquid or solid waste samples. And through being connected to your smartphone, will be able to tell you, based on this and this and that, you are in a pre-diabetic condition. Based on this or that, you are at risk. You are at risk for developing a cancer or hypertension. You might even be able to immediately call medical services to you, right? And not only that, but when you get to that hospital, they will have a mechanism you can get in that can take a picture of your entire insides of your body and make a 3D replica in holograph form. And doctors will be able, no more, you're in pain, you're telling the doctor you're in pain, they say, well, we don't see anything. Our x-rays don't show anything. Our MRI doesn't show anything. Our CAT scan doesn't show anything. Sorry, take this pill and, best of luck to you. Peace. They'll be able to take your 3D hologram of your body and manipulate it and see every nook, cranny, and surface of your body in depth and be able to find things that today's technology may miss. And that could be the difference in prolonging life and having proper, what we call diagnosis and proper prescription. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about that. Hold on, family. There's a few things I want to add. What we're looking at is nanotechnology, and artificial intelligence, and advanced uses of energy and energy sources. These three things are going to radically change the way we get information, the way we communicate, the way we research, the way we eat, the way medicine is going to be completely different. They're working on an MRI machine. If you like me, I don't like those MRIs, family. I feel like I'm a captured slave in some type of capsule that can't get out. These weird sounds going around in your head, and you're strapped in and can't move. And God forbid if the person operating it faints or goes to sleep, you're stuck in that thing, right? The MRIs they're working on now are no bigger than your smartphone. You will be able to have your own MRI. Not to mention that in our homes of the future, you know how you had the ugly wallpaper from back in the day, right? That faded and got all nasty looking, and it was spots torn. They're going to have smart wallpaper, family. Stuff that your home is made of on the inside that coats the walls. And remember from the fairy tale, mirror, mirror on the wall. You'll be able to do that, family. That will be a reality. To check your temperature outside, temperature in the house. Is there carbon monoxide leaks in the house? Right? You'll be able to look at the traffic and the news right on your wall, in any part of your house. This is why computers are going to be dirt cheap, because everything is going to be computers. So they're not going to be the type of thing you got to pay $1,000 for. Very cheap, just like getting a transistor radio would be, or a digital watch. So cheap, right? So you're going to be able to ask it all these things. It's going to be able to scan your body right in your home. You'll be able to get your child's report cards and access to everything right in your home. Travel directions, of course, which you probably won't need, because as I showed you in that driverless car, it has all the sensors you need. So you people have Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant. And you say, what's today's temperature? And it tells you it'll be just like that, but much more sophisticated. Where, for instance, you'll be able to get into your car of the future like this and buckle up, get ready to go to sleep and say, take me to see Carlton Jones' Independence Day film screening in Philadelphia, December 20th today. And go to sleep. And that car will take you right there. And because of sensors, it will be able to go faster, more efficiently, save gas. And guess what? It won't use gas because it'll be powered by what? The sun. Now, when I raise all this, family, I'm raising this really for a reason. I want us as Africans to, for a minute, if we could just for a minute, get out of our rigid, dogmatic roles. Everything got to be this way, and it's the way it is. Our understanding of the way things are going to change as we have access, as we are privy to new information we don't have now. Does this mean we don't fight for African nation? Well, sure. Hopefully by then we have the African nation. But it means that our techniques are going to change. It means our tactics and strategies will change. It means that we will have to have the ability to assimilate volumes of information, understand them, put them in context, and use them in our own interests and on our own behalves. Students will be taught differently. Classrooms will be different. Everything will be different. Some jobs will be completely obsolete. If you're doing secretarial work, you trying to get your CDL license to drive one of these 18-wheeler trucks, that's not going to be around. They're going to have holograms and robots and artificial intelligence doing that, right? Places like Amazon will have driverless trucks transporting these goods, and somebody will just have to come out, which will be a robot, will come out and load these things and put them into the warehouse. So it's a call for us as Africans not to be like dinosaurs, fam, and become extinct because of our inability to adapt, adjust, and overcome. Our minds have to be flexible. We have to be able to see, well, what are the opportunities? Come and seize those opportunities, anticipate them, and be ready for the future. Or else, one day, in this hyper-technical world, white people and alien life will be visiting the Intergalactic Museum of Ancient Negroes, and they will see us as like we look at dinosaur bones today. If we're not serious, if we don't prepare for this future. And I really hope that, if nothing else, this has caused people to think differently. The way we write books, the way we publish, all of this is going to be radically different. If you find yourself caught in the past with your head stuck in the sand of how Pa did it and Grandma did it, you're going to be left behind, and worse, you might even be completely erased from life as we know it. I hope everyone got that. I'm trying to see if there's any comments before I sign off. Oh, and I should add, family, they've got hearts, windpipes, they're still working on livers. All of these different things I was talking about when I showed you those 3D printed organs of the body, and these organs will be cloned directly from your DNA, so there won't be any problems with the body resisting them. People who got an arm or leg amputated in the past will be able to get a prosthetic, a perfect replica of that body part that has been amputated or removed, and it will be able to be grown and put onto you as an organic part of your body. Everything is changing rapidly. But some things will never change. Character will never change. Integrity will never change. Being intelligent and savvy of the world will never change. Being fearless will never change. Having belief will never change. The best practices will never change. Being disciplined and devoted will never change. And so this new world, although we'll have all these new gadgets and radically new ways of interpreting knowledge and using it, it will still need people who can teach, persuade, think out of the box, think creatively and imaginatively. It is important that we understand this. We really think about, as we look at the past, to understand the present. And we fight and build and save and parent and educate and defend in the present. It's very important that we start looking at shows that give us glimpses into the future, reading books and magazines, familiarizing ourselves with what is nanotechnology, what is artificial intelligence, and what that got to do with me. We better be on that. Or like I said, we'll be a bag of bones in some intergalactic museum of the ancient Negro, because we will be extinct. Get with the program, family. Thank you for listening. And if we can wrap our minds around that, the importance of the technology, understanding it, manipulating it, being prepared, I got 3 words. And those 3 words are: we will win.